Okay, so WoW had just released some really interesting information. There was a new patch posted for Classic that is Classic 1.15. People are now speculating that that might be Classic Plus or that might be SoM2. So this has some implications on the Wrath of the Lich King market that I'm going to go over today based on what we know from how SoM launched during TBC. So we can see here Wowhead patch 1.5 or 1.15 in development. Blizzard has pushed a new encrypted build for WoW Classic. This guy, Mr. GM, he put it on Twitter. People are thinking hardcore servers, or it could be Season of Mastery 2, or it could be a Classic Plus. And that's pretty much all the information they're giving us to this point. But as you can see here in patch 10.1 for retail, they are talking about hardcore realm types. We've got a list of dates here. We've got SoM Beta was 1 month prior to Season of Mastery, and then Season of Mastery came out November 16th. So we are going to start here. I'll make a timeline. This date right here, this is TBC. I'm going to make this brush a bit smaller. TBC Phase 2 on September. This is still too big. September 15th, if I check my document here. Yes, September 15th. Then we have October 5th, we had SoM Beta. A month later, on November 16th, we had SoM Release. And then we had this from November to January. Here's when we got the P3 TBC announcement, and this was like January 13th, I think. Yeah, January 13th. And then Phase 3 was a staggered release. The patch dropped on the 17th, but the raid content came out on the 27th. So this is Phase 3 announcement. I'll just put that, and then Phase 3 launch. So what we're interested in is we're basically in this period right here, this in-between period, or maybe even, if we want to be generous, we can also include this period here. So what this means to me is basically when SoM launched, a lot of people left TBC to go play SoM, but as soon as Phase 3 was announced and Phase 3 came out, Season of Mastery pretty much died, and we can talk about the failings of Blizzard and whatever all you want, but that's neither here nor there. We're concerned about gold making opportunities in this video, rather. And this period here was low market activity for TBC because a lot of people were playing SoM, and as soon as this came back, or Phase 3 came back, and people came back to TBC, prices of everything go up, the volume of things being sold go up, the volume of void crystals, or Nexus crystals, whatever they were called in TBC, the disenchanting mats, they go up because more people are raiding again. So the population, everything just increased as soon as Phase 3 came back because more people are concerned with the main classic compared to being concerned with Season of Mastery. So during the Season of Mastery dry spell, we had the opportunity to sell off things that were cheaper in this area. We could sell them off here for a higher price, and then we had to have sold them before people came back Although we didn't know that Phase 3 was coming back, we didn't have a definitive date, but we could speculate on when we thought Phase 3 might be launched. So during this period, we could make gold based on investments we made before everybody left. So as soon as everybody comes back, our investments start to look worse because there's more competition, more void crystals, more DE mats being put in the market, more everything. So basically, how we're going to look at this as it concerns Wrath, we basically want, this period is what we're in right now, this prior to 1.5 release, prior to 1.15. I keep saying 1.5, but I mean 1.15. And then here is the Classic Plus, or whatever it is, honeymoon period. I'll just say Classic Plus period. And then we can assume that Phase 3 Wrath, everybody's going to leave Classic Plus and come back to Wrath. So we want to capitalize now on the price of Abyss Crystals. We want to capitalize on raiding consumes, all this sort of stuff. And we want to invest here so that we sell on the Classic Plus period, sell here, and then everything should normalize once Phase 3 comes back and people come back. So now I'm going to go discuss some of the items, such as Abyss Crystals and Consumes and whatnot, that I'm going to be investing in for both Phase 3 launch, but also Classic Plus launch, because either of these, I think, the same materials are going to go up in value. Alright, so here's a few of the items that I think are worth investing in for the potential launch of 1.15, but also just Phase 3 in general. First, I've got Titan Steel bars. Look at the price here. So we're concerned with the date January 17th. That's when Phase 2 came out. So it was very expensive before Phase 2. Everybody cashed out on their supply and it crashed pretty hard. But since then, look at how it's gone up and up and up. So back in March, it was 125 gold, 100 gold. This is just for my realm, Fairlina. But you can go on JP Morgan, that's what this site is, and I'll link it in the description of this video. And you can check for your own realm what the prices are. So in March it got up to like 125 gold, but recently it's been 110, 115-ish. And prior to the launch of Phase 2, it was about the same price, but right in this Phase 2 period, it was down to 70 gold and such. So if you bought any Titan Steel bars in between this down period, you can make a ton of gold just by holding if you haven't sold yet. But also, if you buy prior to the Phase launch, we can see that in March you could have made profit by holding from January to March, but even if you're still holding from January to now April, you're about break even. So there's really not much risk, in my opinion, into buying into Titan Steel bars. We also have Abyss Crystals, and this is more because we can see the price before Phase 2 came out was around 85 gold. And on Phase 2 launch, it crashed down to 70 gold-ish. But in February, it went back up to 100 gold, and that's because people are getting their gear. People are needing enchants and whatnot, and not every piece of loot in Alduar is going to disenchant yet. People are still using all the miscellaneous items that you'd probably disenchant if you went to an Alduar run today, but the same thing is going to apply to Trial of the Crusader in Phase 3. once people start getting their gear, they're going to need it enchanted, and they can't get the disenchant crystals from raid because everybody is using every piece of loot. But now, as you can see, the price has gone way down to around 50 gold because almost all the pieces in Ulduar can be disenchanted now. There's no longer a need to give some random miscellaneous piece to your raiders because everybody has got their Abyss. It's near the end of the phase. So I'm going to be buying into Abyss crystals, knowing that most likely they will go back up prior to the phase and they will go up during the phase. All I have to be concerned about is that I don't sell them too early, because as we can see, in the week after the launch of Phase 2, people started dumping their stock. And this doesn't make sense anyway, because not everybody is getting their gear. Only the people that have been prioed loot are going to be getting gear on week 1 of a new phase. So I'm going to be holding till the 2nd or 3rd or 4th even week of the phase before I decide to sell, because that's when most people are getting their gear and most people are going to be needing enchant crystals, and it's after everybody has dumped their stock. Well, not everybody, but the majority of people have dumped their stock. And how this ties into patch 1.15 is that if people stop playing Ulduar to go play the new version of Classic, they're going to stop running Ulduar and disenchanting gear. So if less gear is being disenchanted, the price of Abyss crystals is going to go up, as we can see during February when they went up because people were using gear instead of disenchanting it. Then we also have Pygmy Oil, which everybody remembers. Anyone who's played the auction house in the past phase has remembered the insane price of fish and Pygmy Oil and all the fishing materials. When Phase 2 launched, there was a big bubble here. It went up to 3.5 gold each, 3 gold each, 3.8 here on the day of the patch. Now they're down to 1.5 gold area. They're recently going back up to around 2 gold, but I'm sure they'll be in the 1.5 to 2 gold area, and I'm pretty convinced that the same thing will happen when Phase 3 comes out. People are going to need all the fishing materials. This applies to more than just Pygmy Oil. It also applies to the fish that people need for fish feasts, just because of the fact that on a new phase, everybody is expected to consume, or at least a lot of people are going to consume, so that they can get through progression rating. And then as the patch goes through, more people either quit or aren't as on top of their consumes during raid or whatnot, so the price goes down. But I'm pretty sure that around the start of the phase, Pygmy Oil is going to go up in price a lot. And unlike Abyss crystals that are going to go up if 1.5 comes out before Phase 3, I think that Pygmy Oils will go down if 1.5 comes out before Phase 3, because of the fact that less people are going to be raiding, less people are consuming, so that might be a time to buy in. And if that happens, I'm going to be buying in and stocking up for the launch of Phase 3, where they will presumably rise in value again because people are coming back and people are raiding. And then last one here, I've got Spellweave, but just this also counts for Moonshroud and Ebon Weave, all the tailoring cooldowns. As you can see, a bunch of people, just like Titan Steel Bars, they dropped all their stock right after the patch came out, and since then it's gone back up. So I think the same thing's going to happen for Phase 3. People are going to dump their stock at the start of the phase, and then it'll appreciate back up. So this is another 3 items that I'm going to be looking at for Phase 3 investing. But there's also going to be a chance that we might be able to get some for cheap if 1.15 comes out. But there's also a chance, conversely, that people might just not even log in to do their tailoring CDs when 1.15 comes out, so less people are making the cloth. which means there's less quantity and higher prices. So I'd expect this to go either way when 1.15 comes out. And I'm not heavily stocked up on it right now, and unless it goes down in price when 1.15 comes out, if it does come out before Phase 3, I will buy some then. But if not, I'm just going to be making these on my tailoring alts and stocking them up that way, but I haven't really been buying them off the auction house. I just expect them to be a decent investment for Phase 3. So if you're going to try any of these investments, please let me know how they turn out for you. Leave a like, subscribe, and good luck on your gold making efforts.